Hey guys. You know, I randomly go live on here, but I know I have people from all over the place, so someone might be up. Oh, darn it. My thing is unplugged. That's not good. Hi, Jasmine. I want that extra light. You guys can see me, right? Thanks, Camille. I'm feeling shinier. I had on a light that kind of like neutralized my skin a little better. So, hey, Patricia. So, in this live chat, guys, I am going to be talking about the cerebral narc. You know, just some good information for you to know about them. But before I do that, I wanted to point out a couple of things that I didn't mention in my videos that I put up earlier about, or was it yesterday, about the discard and the Hoover. Hey, Dancer. Patricia. Everybody's checking in. Child of God. Camille. Oh, I got a new subby. Thanks. I appreciate everybody. You know, I love the way that the channel is growing. Oh, I see I got a like. Everybody, give me a like. YouTube, I think part of their, the way that they push videos out is if people are liking them. So it helps the video get into more rotation, which helps to spread, you know, the news and the awareness, okay? Hey, Jasmine, thank you. Yeah, I really am glowing with my shiny forehead. I'm about to like literally move my bang over. So, what I wanted to say in addition, because I made a video about the narcissist discard, was, you know, it was a quick video that I made in which I gave the ultimate reason why the narcissist has to discard you. And I said it was because they weren't going to never give you the real deal. But keeping that in mind, you know, as we're seeing all the angles, what you need to understand is if things are going well in your relationship, if you're in a love bomb phase, you know it's coming. You know, if things are going good between you two, you know they got to do something to disrupt that pattern because, you know, they're not trying to really be in a healthy relationship. You know, that's what that means. They need the dysfunction. So anytime, if you are still with that narcissist and you guys are in an okay space or they're love bombing you right now, it's like, you know what's about to be around the corner. So that's why we have to just remove ourselves from that toxic cycle and pattern, you know? And the same thing with my video that I made about the 3 reasons why the narcissist hoovers. You know, that's all reliant on a willing participant. At the end of the day, you have to take their hoover. You know, you have to go back in there with them. So ultimately, you know, we hold all of the power with this, with the narcissist, you know. So just stay mindful about that, survivors, okay? We really hold the power, ultimately. So wait, let me just look at the notes here. I mean, the comments. Smith said, good night. Well, we just getting started, so I'm going to be on here for a little bit. Camille says, I know we can never be friends with a narc. Right, right. And I did make a video specifically about that. It was the video was a question. Can you be friends with a narcissist? No. You mean, think about what friendship embodies, you know, and can a narcissist deliver that? They can't, guys. They just can't do that. So, nope, can't be friends. You can try. Let me know how that work out. I think we all know. So let's talk about the cerebral narcs. Let's talk about them. From what I'm researching, they're saying that narcissists can go in and out. Sometimes they may be operating from a cerebral nature, and sometimes they're operating from a somatic nature. From what I'm reading, they're saying that narcs can be they can be a mixture of, But that makes sense because they're morphing, they're morphing for each supply, right? But they do say typically a narcissist will lean towards one way than another. Okay? So let's talk about when they're on the cerebral end of the spectrum, or if they're leaning towards that. Obviously, it is a different type of approach and a different type of presentation, although beneath the surface, ultimately, we have this similar insecurities and fears, okay? Somebody just wrote something here. Patricia says, I've been with a narc for 10 years. I'm hanging on by a thread. Yesterday was discard day. I've been crying for 25 hours. Can anyone tell me when they discard, does that mean they already have a new supply? First of all, Patricia, you shouldn't feel like you should have to be hanging on a thread in any relationship that you're in. That's a major red flag. A thread. You know how thin a thread is? And for you to say yesterday was discard day, it's like it feels like someone that's just way too comfortable with the pattern of abuse there. And crying for 25 hours, it sounds like you have a lot of attachment with this narcissist, obviously trauma bonded. And do they have another supply? Typically they do. The chances of a narcissist being with you exclusively for 10 years are basically slim to none. So chances are that narcissist, is he discarding you and leaving for nights and weeks or days? These are indications that he's going somewhere else, But even more than what he's doing, Patricia, your mental state and your willingness to stay in this and be willing to hang on by a thread and wait for discard days, that is really going to be the focal point as far as my perception will go. Because you're not changing what he's doing, but you can certainly change, what you're allowing to go on in your relationship. Hey, Bella. Hey, Mary, she said. Hey, boo. Dancer says, sometimes I feel the presence in my home. Is that because of outside stuff she's doing? There's dark magic. There's dark magic, and I certainly wouldn't put it past. I say don't put anything past them, and because of the nature of the narcissist you were dealing with and some of the things that you said about her nature, I really wouldn't put it past her to be, into witchcraft or anything like that with the dark energy. And what I've learned about that type of stuff is even if they seem to be able to manipulate something, it's usually short term because, it's not really coming from the divine source, So they're manipulating things in a short term, and that's why they have to keep trying to cast a spell or throw out this dark energy. So from what I understand, it's very short term because it's not coming from the right source, But yeah, you could be feeling a presence of that. But besides that, she was in your space, So I don't know if you've removed all of her things, if you've really cleansed your home of that person's energy. That may be something that you would have to consider if you've done that. Okay. Patricia says like 3 weeks at a time and then with me 4 days and then not with me. Oh yeah, Patricia. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you found out that he could even possibly be married and living a double life. And I'm not saying that this is going on, but, you know, and it sounds like he's spending more time with the other person than he is with you, and he could possibly have children here and there that he might not have even told you about, staying with the mother of those kids. And, you know, variety is the spice of life for narcissists. So the more the merrier. Is all supply. He has a home here, he has a home there. He's living a life right now. Okay. And then you're always waiting in the wing for him. That's just, he feel like he's hit the jackpot. He can cause an argument and leave whenever he feels like it. So he's way comfortable with, disrespecting you and giving you less than. Dancer says, I feel really bad for the newcomers. So sad. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of abuse and a lot of suffering. Chapman says, I didn't wait on discard day. Once I realized what was going on, I immediately went no contact. Thanks for your videos and others. Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of times survivors get confused about it. And they're like waiting for the narcissist to do it. But don't forget, you always have a say. You can always just step into your strength and, off with their heads. You can make that decision. Don't wait for them. It's even better when you can do it. Honestly, you're going to feel better. Initially you're going to feel something because, you're making that detachment. But ultimately, when you look back, you're going to feel so badass because you took, that authority. You stood up for yourself after so much and you chose to end it. It's like a wonderful way to do it, honestly. Yisrael says, my spirit has been broken by a narcissist. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that, especially in the initial stages. But with the proper approach and with time, you're not going to stay there forever, okay? You're not going to stay there forever. Patricia says, when I come to the understanding of who and what they are, I will be better. Thank you for your videos. They help me every day. Right. Yeah. I have over 300 videos, Patricia. Like, I would really binge watch as much as possible. But, do it in a state of not only listening, but hearing it, Patricia, and receiving it, because sometimes we can be listening to stuff and we're not really receiving it yet, and be real with yourself if you're really in that place of letting go. Because sometimes some of us take a while to get to that fed up point. And until then, we can hear all the information and we'll be staying in it. Dancer says, yeah, I went and got some stuff. I went and got some off my cleaning stuff. Anyway, I stopped cleaning. She's basically cleansing her home. Okay. Hey, Tracy. Yezerel says, once I give in to his Hoover, he discards me. I then ignore him. He tries once again to get my attention, and I give in. This has been going on for 6 months now. Yeah. He likes to chase. This person likes to chase Yezerel, and that's the game that he's playing with you. He just wants to chase. And as soon as he feels like he's conquered you, he's turned off because it's like, okay, I got you now. Okay? That's the game that he's playing with you. Chapman says, so true. It was hard, but it was the best thing I could have done for myself. Yeah. Camille says, narcs are demonic. His spirit entered my room one night while I was between sleep and wake. Yeah. Miss Jackson says these videos have truly woke me up. That's good. Patricia says, why would I stay in it when I know? That's what I'm not understanding. I know I deserve better. It's because you're bonded with this person. You're in mesh with him. So now it's just beyond your logic. It's your emotions that are keeping you there with him now, Patricia. Chances are you have the soul tie, right? Then you're trauma bonded from all the abuse. He's gaslighting you all the time. Chances are you're probably utilizing Stockholm Syndrome for the crumbs of what seems like, I don't even want to say goodness in quotes, that he's, for any act right that he is giving you when he finally comes back. So, and it's been going on for 10 years, so it's heavily, imprinted in your mind now. And the only way that you're going to be able to stop that is by going no contact and removing yourself from that situation, Patricia, so that a new pattern can begin to form in your mind. Okay, you'll see things a lot more clear when you get away from it. So that's why sometimes when couples take a break from each other, it all becomes clear if they really cared about them, because they're away from the situation. When you up on it and in it, in the thick of it, it can become real fuzzy, all right? It can become real fuzzy. All right, but let's talk about the cerebral narcissist, guys. I'm going to come back on the thread and look at these questions in a minute, but let's get into the cerebral narc, because I know some people are watching, to get more information on that. And that is the general purpose of the live chat. But sometimes, they just take a direction of their own, and we can just go with the flow. So a cerebral narcissist is basically one that gets their esteem from intellectual or their perceived intellectual superiority, So in this sense, it's like an intellectual vanity going on where whether it's real or fake, they hide behind their degrees a lot of times. This may be someone that has a PhD. So in corporate America, you might actually bump into a lot of cerebral narcs, right? And they hide behind these degrees and they think this makes them worthy. This makes the cerebral narc worthy. They may, in a romantic relationship, put you in situations where you feel like you have to beg for sex and intimacy. They have a weird relationship with it. They may call you clingy or needy for wanting affection. And the funny thing is, they're probably porn addicts because, they're sexually repressed. They got to get it out somehow. And that makes sense. They rather watch other people do it, When they talk about people from their past and their exes, they might say, oh, this person was stupid. This person was ignorant. They weren't intelligent. They'll put people down in that way. If they do meet people that are more smarter or intelligent or something, they may ignore it or find a way to put this person down. And on the worst end of the spectrum of cerebral, even if they have to go to jail, like they'll get real devious with trying to set somebody else up for a downfall. They typically get bored with the people that are closest to them, their friends, and, well, put friends in quotes because we're talking about a narcissist, and their family and their partners, because they run out of things to talk about. So they want to be intellectually stimulated. But it's like a twofold thing. They get bored with them, but they don't really want them to be, they don't want to feel like they're smarter or more achieved than them at the same token. It's like a very confused person. They're very competitive, especially, obviously when it comes to the academics. You would call them a socialite. So they're going to be wanting to judge people based off of their social status, you know. So yeah, they want to take a picture with the mayor, you know, they're socialites. They may not be into public displays. They have a superiority, an intellectual one, where they think that they are like a superhuman. You know, they might think that they're superhuman. And because they get these degrees and stuff, they may actually hold some type of a higher position in society, or they may be working their way towards that. You know, they might throw themselves into their work. So they, you know, these may be the narcissists that have the financial means. You know, they might actually appear to be successful, and that's what they want. They want to feel successful in society. They want to feel normal, but it's through like superficial ways, you know, like on paper. They want to look really good on paper. And they're not really interested in having deep relationships. They just want it to look good on the surface. So this would be a narcissist that wants that wife to be the arm candy. You're going to go have my children, and they're going to go to private school, and we're going to have the perfect family life. It's going to look good to people on the outside type of thing. Okay. And this is, you know, because you would think, and this would make sense, with a cerebral narc, they're going to be more mental about things. So this is the type of guy or woman that would befriend people that they fantasize about dating, right? But they're dating you. So this is a psychological game, right? Where they're making you feel like you should be honored, you know, that they're with you. And then at the same time, it's kind of like it could chip at a person's self-esteem if they weren't seeing where this person is coming from. So, you know, this is like one of those mind games. This is the mind games that these type of people will play. Oh, yeah, yeah, you know, oh my gosh, you know, hanging out with all these other people. Oh, I would, you know, but they're with you, and they're trying to act like you're not good enough. You know, it's like putting you up against people in a passive aggressive kind of way. Okay. And they could actually be extreme loners. They're masteries of self-denial. Self-denial, and that's how they're like denying their sexuality. And then self-denial as far as burying their real fears, you know, and creating that false mask that all narcissists do. So what are some of the fears of the cerebral narc before we get back into talking about them? And some of these are going to be general, just like other narcissists. They have a fear of being abandoned, not being good enough. Cerebral narcs, they don't want to feel like they're losing value, like in society. So they have to always prove that they're smart. They have a fear of their own brain. So you have to think about this. You know, this type of narcissist, and all of them are in their heads. They're all in their heads, but this one is especially in their heads. And, you know, from what I've researched, like the things that go on inside of a narcissist's head is like torture, you know, because they have this low self-esteem. They're dirty, negative, dark, low vibration thoughts, like constantly. So, you know, they have a fear of not leading a normal life, of not fitting in. They also have a fear of, you know, never being happy. They definitely have a fear of academic humiliation. Okay? They're terrified of that. And ultimately, just like all narcissists, they have a fear of losing control of people, places, and things. You know, they want to control their atmosphere and their surroundings, you know. And of course, being exposed, especially for the cerebrals that aren't as intellectual as they would like people to think. So if someone could actually expose them, they're a fake and a fraud. This would be the person with a PhD and they're not really that intelligent at all. They bluffed their way through school, or they finished the bottom of their class. They barely made, So this is what I'm finding out about the cerebral narcissist. They feel a need to be perfect. And they make you feel a need to be perfect when you're in that type of presence of energy. Because, just like all narcissists, but especially with the cerebrals, they don't take criticism very well. Not for themselves, but then they're highly criticizing others. Like they can give it, dish it, but they can't take it. So if you get with a person like this, you're going to always constantly feel like, if you were a woman, that you need to be the perfect weight. You can't never wear a scarf to bed. Like, you got to be like the Stepford, this and that. Like, they would make you feel that way. They would make you feel that way, which could lead you to having anxiety and depression, and then your self-worth can get shattered over time, It's definitely not good. They're all about, the cerebral narcs, they're all about the illusions, even more, because they typically have the verbiage to be that smooth talker. But they want people to think that they're just this philosophical, Gandhi, And don't you start getting good in your life and achieving things. They're never really excited for you because, like I said, they don't want to feel like people can surpass them, of course. So, they'll have like a demeaning behavior towards other people's successes, They blame other people for their failures. They love to impose their ideologies, on others. So they feel like they have to like force it down their throat, especially if you're the supply. So did you clean your ear out? You'll be listening to them. So let me go into here because I see a lot of notes. And let me know if any of you feel like you've been or come in contact with a cerebral narcissist. I'm just pushing this down here. Ayana was co-signing that. Yeah, they're all crazy. Yeah, all narcissists would say that. And that's going to be your red flag, when you are getting to know somebody new and they can't take no accountability. Everything that ever went wrong in their life is always somebody else's problem. All their exes is crazy. Well, you must be crazy too because you keep picking them, right? Come on, no accountability. Ayana says these types of narcissists are very calculating and very devious. Yes, it could take years to catch on to one, but once you realize what they are, you will see how everything they did is step by step. Yeah. 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 Calculating. Very good word to describe that. Exposure is a major fear for them, yeah. Dancer says, yes, my ex was never happy, only at first, but boy, oh boy, when I told her she was my worst relationship, it looked like she melted. Yeah, because now she doesn't feel normal. They want to feel normal. And they definitely want you to be like in love with them. Sherry says, why can't I get over this 18 years of marriage, 4 kids? He wants to be a drug dealer with new friends. I'm mad. Well, you have 18 years and 4 kids, and you're probably still in it, right? That's why it's hard to get over it. You have a lot going on, Sherry. Patricia says, mine will take the blame for nothing and then try to twist it around, right? And with the cerebral narc, they're going to be really about shifting blame. They're really going to be about that. All right, so, they're image focused. They might take credit when you're doing group work, okay? They may not be into public displays of affection. Petty things may bother them, but that's what all narcissists. And overthinking. The cerebral narcs, they're going to overthink everything. Read into everything on a negative end. Everything defensive. Everything is an attack. What is this little note I wrote here? Okay, I already made that point. I have so many notes on here. Yeah, I remember you, Selena. I did a viewer requested video with you. And I have to go check my inbox. I do see that you gave me an update. So give me a moment to catch up with you. All right. Yeah, so yeah, they're putting themselves above everyone. This is a typical narcissist. But yeah, calculating. That's a great word for them. Manipulative, extra manipulative, okay? Because information falling into the wrong laps, wrong, yeah, the wrong laps. Laps is the right word. It's late. It could be dangerous, So they might be a bookworm. They might be a bookworm. But it's like, that's the person you don't want to know how to research how to build a bomb. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. They're using the education, of course, for manipulation. And then those cerebral narcs, they're the ones that can be doing these white collar crimes. The Ponzi schemes. This is going to be a cerebral narc here. Because they're going to go get those degrees to help lower people's walls, so they can gain the trust, of course. But because they're narcissistic, they're feeling entitled. So they're going to find a way, to do devious things with the educations that they have. And they'll try to hide it, of course. But, these people doing them Ponzi schemes and stuff, that's right. That's so cerebral narc right there, if you want to think about that. Let me see. Okay, Selena. Well, my email is Coach Lakia. I have several emails, and they're under most of my videos. Should be all of them at this point. But CoachLakia@gmail.com. You can send an email there. Okay, they might be the ones that end up having the tax problems, because they feel entitled. They're going to find ways to manipulate. They're the ones hacking into computers. This is what a cerebral narc would want to do with their education. But if they have it their way, it would be behind closed doors. But some of them, get so far on the spectrum, they want the notoriety. So they don't mind going down in history for these crimes because they're like at the top of their game in it. That's the sadistic aspect of it, Oh, you're welcome, Selena. You're welcome. Ayana says the difference with the overt and the cerebral narcissist is you can see the overt a mile away. The cerebral hides very well. Wolf in sheep's clothing. Absolutely. 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 The cerebral narcs could be, unfortunately, behind some of these mega churches. It could be a cerebral narcissist. I've seen some sketchy information out here. So, they study the Bible inside and out. They got the theology degrees and, they have You know, they know how to be social. You know, that's why, the Bible says don't put your trust in man. Because a lot of people I know turn their back on the church because of some pastors that did them wrong. But you can't put your trust in man. But you certainly don't want to put man and God on the same level. That pastor is not God. And I always try to tell that to the people. Something just told me to just say that. I don't know if somebody needed to hear it, but aw. And I enjoy doing this, honestly, guys. I do honestly enjoy doing it. It's definitely one of the callings on my life. So I appreciate you guys, showing me love. It lets me know when I get people subscribing to channels, when people like my videos, when you guys leave the comments and you're interacting with me, it lets me know, okay, yeah, you're going the right way. People care about what you have to share here. Roberto says, thank you for all your videos you have uploaded. I've been binging. Yeah, enjoy. Lots to watch. Bella says, my narc says that is better than his friend. My narc said that is better than his friend, although his friend tried to help him. Oh, the narc thinks he's better than his friend, even though his friend was helping him. Yeah. Yeah. Many fake pages. Yeah. Yeah, that's all narcissists. But yeah, I would think the cerebral ones being all in their head, they may be even more stalkerish. It would make sense. Hey, Chris Cannon, haven't seen you in a while. In a live chat, anyway. Bella says, do you coaching or messenger? I do coaching. I do offer coaching. If you go to LakiaCrawford.com, and that link is under most of my videos, guys, if you want to do coaching with me. I typically do 1-hour sessions, and we could do a voice call. I do FaceTime, I do Skype, and I also do email coaching because writing is very therapeutic. So I do offer coaching, Bella. Nick says, I didn't see my ex for a long while after the breakup. But this year, I've seen her at 4 concerts I've gone to. I would like to think it's all just a coincidence, but my gut tells me otherwise. No, if you're announcing this, Nick, on the internet, because obviously most people buy their tickets in advance and they're excited and they might make a post. If you're still Facebook friends with her, or if you have a public page, or if you have common friends who are running their mouth, or, no, I don't want to say, if you guys did that a lot together, and she might know that you might be there, but, she's finding something out, especially if you are announcing it, okay? Roberto says, is it normal to feel anxious when I read information or watch videos on narcissism? I feel like I have to stop or move on because my chest hurts. Yes, that is normal when you are in a heightened state in your recovery. Usually when you're in the beginning and you're still kind of in a shock, honestly. And it may actually be a trigger for you, which is possibly that you have post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, so it may be a trigger for you right now, which means that you have a lot of hurt inside of you centered around this narcissistic abuse that you experience, all right? Ayana says they are stalkers, fake accounts, dating profiles. The best thing to do is block everywhere. And if you can, change your phone number, yeah. But the whole thing is the cerebral narcs, they're so, as far as calculated, they probably already been friend requesting you under other profiles while you're on good terms. So you might not even know that they're following you, or, they're going through a mutual friend who doesn't know that you don't want them to be stalking you. They find ways around this stuff. So it's almost, I don't want to say it's impossible to block people off social media nowadays, but it's so many ways for people to try to get get in there and trick you. So just be careful with the friend requests that you accept. You would almost have to literally, because I don't know many people who know everybody they're friends with on Facebook. You would almost have to start a new Facebook account, which really sucks, and really only accept the people that you really freaking know. And even then, you don't know who a flying monkey is. So, living your life, and maybe using discretion about what you want to share. But if you want to share it, just know that it could fall into their lap. But you got to live your life. I don't want my survivors walking around in fear, honestly. Yeah, it's very hurtful because it's betrayal. It's betrayal. It hurts because you cared. It hurts because you love them. But once you get more into detachment, you know, once you focus on detaching yourself and you make good leeway with that, it won't hurt so much. And it's also about shifting your perceptions, guys. I've made videos on that. I've made videos on debunking the love bomb phase. I've made videos on how to get over the narcissist, because a lot of it is perceptions that need to be changed. Okay. Oops, hold on, guys. Oh my gosh, I have all these notifications. Right. What you may need the most, Roberto, is a shift in the way that you're perceiving things. Okay? I highly recommend you get some coaching for yourself. Okay? So why don't you send me an email and we can set something up? Or you could just you can go to LakiaCrawford.com and you can schedule. You can schedule. But if you want to talk and make a schedule, we can do that as well. All that information is on my website, but it sounds like you need some really intense therapy, all right, to help you have a better perception on things. Because if you don't look at things the right way, you're definitely going to feel really messed up, and for a lot longer than you have to. So make that investment in yourself. Rise and Thrive says, that's why I don't hide. Right. I was happy, in my healing to let my narcissist see me. I knew that I blocked so many profiles, but I knew that it was almost impossible for me to block them all. And I'm somewhat of a public figure now. So this person probably watching this live chat. But I was okay with this person seeing me live my best life and go out and continue without them. I was cool with that. What they gonna do? Valerie says, I just don't post for right now, taking a break. Well, if you feel like you should. But I'm all for people just being their natural selves. Like, you giving up enough when you were in that relationship. I wouldn't tell you to not post or be yourself. I feel like you deserve to finally really be yourself and fully. So Selena says, oh, hold on. I'm still in therapy. Wait, the messages are coming and it's bumping yours up. I'm still in therapy after 7 months. Over. Never needed it before, but now, wow. Yeah, because a relationship with a narcissist is not, breaking up with them is not like breaking up with a normal person. That's for sure. Jesus Loves Me Too says, I've watched so many narcissistic videos and even though I know it fits him, it's hard to let go. That's your emotions, because your logic knows now, but your emotions. Your emotions haven't caught up with your logic, and that happens a lot with survivors, especially early on. You know, once your emotions catch up with your logic, or you can just decide to just move logically, even though your emotions haven't caught up, knowing that you're doing what's best for you. JT, I don't think you're talking to me. I'm not going to answer that question. Bella says, you seem to have so much energy and doing a lot of good things. Where do you get all your energy? From inward, honestly. I do a lot of meditating. I do a lot of prayers. I try to be so positive, and I start my day off that way. I do annotations. I write things down. I do a lot of envisionings, like I do vision boards. I connect to myself all throughout the day. All throughout the day, I'm saying positive things. I try to be balanced, exercising, proper rest, hydration, staying up on my health, just trying to overall be balanced as best as I can and be in tune with myself and my happiness. I treat myself really good. I do. Like, I go get pedicures, but I have my favorite sugar scrubs here and everything. When I want something, when I want to treat myself, I do it. And beyond the material things, I make sure that I'm good to my spirit as well, you know? But I'm human just like everybody else, and it's been a process for me too to heal from my own narcissistic abuse. So, but I found ways to get it out of me. Writing my books, all of this was a release. Having this channel, it's healing me too. It heals me too. It keeps me healed. It keeps me in touch. I never forget. I'm constantly reminded of where I came from. And so, you know, but I don't want to I don't want to be fake and phony like I'm always happy every day, all day with this plastic smile on my face. I might have times and moments too, but they're moments. They're literally moments to me. I'll acknowledge it. I'll think about what the trigger was, or, I work myself through that, but I have that kind of awareness with myself. Diane says, hello, this is my first time seeing your video. You are awesome, and I will definitely watch all the rest. I just left a narc, and life is good. Watching the video really helped me, and praying as well. Yeah. Well, welcome to the community. And I have a support group for those of you who have not gone over to there. It's Lakia Reflection and Progression Crawford, the name of this channel. And we have fun, we laugh, and we share information. We uplift one another. Survivors can post on there when they're having a rough day. Other survivors hop on there and lift each other up. So, it's just good to give yourself, to build a support system, of people who actually understand. That's so important. Triste says, hello, my beautiful and blessed and highly favored sister. Is this the new thing going on in the world? No, it's not new, but I just think that it's growing. If anything, it's really growing. So it's growing so much that people are starting to take notice. Especially here in American society where everything is I, me, look what I have. It's very narcissistic if you really think about it. What is held on a pedestal in this society is very narcissistic. So if those are our values, we're going to be naturally breeding more narcissistic people who aren't going to be grounded, and they're going to have their priorities all screwed up because of what we're valuing as a whole. This is generally speaking, I'm looking through my notes on the Cerebral Narcissist to see if I missed anything that I wanted to mention earlier. Yeah, they're going to be braggers. I see that little note in the corner. You know, the cerebral narcissists, they're going to brag no matter how tiny of an accomplishment. They're going to make it a big deal. Okay. I'm just going through this. Cannot. All right. Yeah, I think I've. It looks like I mentioned all my notes, but you know, we're talking about intellectual vanity with a cerebral narc. You know. They impose on others. They feel like everybody needs to hear, you know, their ideas and their thoughts. And it's in an imposing way, you know, meaning they could talk your ears off, okay? And you trying to figure out how you're going to get out the conversation now that they done started. And then you might be polite and nod your head and, you know, they just keep going. But yeah, very image focused. But that's what, generally speaking, with narcissists, you know, that's just general. All right, let me look at these notes. Hold on. Therapy can be fruitful and much needed to get back on the path of you and being healthy. Yes, yes, with the right therapist or the right coach, absolutely, absolutely, Amina. Celino says her cousin sends me the message about the pregnancy and we don't know who the dad is, why her cousin, why not her? Well, if you're no contact with her, you know, and she's creating more flying monkeys, she's just triangulating her cousin to try to reel you in, right? And now her cousin's like, oh, he's such a bad guy. He's not even trying to check up on you. And, you know, she's trying to create a flying monkey if she hasn't already. Dancer says, wow, I was going to ask you to do the narcs. Ask you, do the narcs get on here to create? Yeah. I think, you know, I get trolls on here every now and then, and probably is a narcissist or a hater. Triste says, is narking the new trend? Well, I definitely feel like there's a lot more information about true narcissism, you know, not the vague sense, because, you know, we all have narcissism or narcissistic traits within us, but, you know, there's a spectrum, of course. So that's why we see all these channels and people are using this word more freely and they're starting to understand more. But I still feel like we have a lot more ways to go because even people I know more closely, they're like, what is a narcissist again? Like, a lot of people still don't know. So Smith says, my narc tried flying monkey on one of my friends, and my friend put that deceitful woman in her place. Yeah, they try to recruit the people on your team. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Amina. Why is the female narc so deadly? Well, Celino, I made videos about the female narcissist, but I think they're vicious. You know, just a little more vicious than the men. I'm telling you. That's why they say, like, a woman scorned, baby. You better watch out. Okay? And then they have that whole femininity thing that they can play. You know, they can play that to their advantage. Men don't have that. So it could create more sympathy for them, basically. Yeah, go under any of my videos, Valerie Reddick, and if you scroll, and even if you go to the About section of my YouTube, you'll see the Facebook down there. but go under any of my videos and just scroll if you have to. I'm still doing a live chat. I'm still doing a live chat. I'm still doing a live chat, Isaiah. Give me a few minutes. If you scroll down, you'll see the Facebook link. Yep, Tree said, very sad. No, they don't respect boundaries. So if you have strong ones, they'll be going in the opposite directions. All right, you're going to find out how strong your boundaries are when a narcissist comes into your life. And for some of us, that is the lesson that we really had to take out of this situation, okay, moving forward. Oh, wow. That is such a compliment, Triste. Yeah, very sneaky. You can't put anything past them. And I always tell people this, don't put anything past them. We put things past. We think, oh, they did this, but they wouldn't do that. Yes, they would. You can't put nothing past them. That's how you keep getting blindsided. Okay, Valerie. I'll look for your friend requests. Yisrael says, I do not think a person can heal from narcissistic abuse by having to see the narcissist. I am a roommate with my narc. He stalks me and becomes jealous if he thinks I like someone. You don't think they can heal? I don't think a person can heal from narcissistic abuse by having to see. Yeah, you have to remove yourself from the situation. You gotta remove the narc out of your life to really start your healing, honestly, or to make any type of substantial progression in it. Okay. All right, guys, we're approaching an hour. I wanted to come on here and talk about the cerebral narc, to at least start the conversation. And for those of you who missed that section of the video, YouTube will upload this. I think the last time I was in somebody else's live chat, I could even just touch back into certain sections before the video was already uploaded. So you guys can go back and see what I was saying about that. In the beginning of the video, I kind of wrapped up or talked on the discard and the narcissist Hoover a little bit. I touched on that. So, just some information. But ultimately, guys, even with understanding, what the cerebral narc is, it helps us connect dots on the people that we're dealing with or people that we could meet so that we can see these predators a lot quicker. But ultimately, it's our self-work, of course. Our self-work, the shadow work with ourselves that we're going to have to get into. All right. So before I leave, guys, I made like some No Narc Zone merchandise that I want you guys to check out on my website, LakiaCrawford.com. All right. Really cute stuff. You can make a statement and be fashionable and have fun at the same time. My channel does take donations to PayPal and Cash App. The Cash App is $CoachLakia, and the PayPal me link for the channel is down there. You can also set up coaching. I have books on the website, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, like so many things that I created out of this whole experience to share with you guys. So if you like my channel, you would definitely like the books, and reading is good for you. And a lot of information there to help increase your emotional maturity and a lot of pearls of wisdom, when it comes to relational advice, okay? Oh, you're welcome, Sherry. I hope this helps somebody understand a little bit about a cerebral narc. The funny thing is, as I was writing the notes, I thought about someone that I know, like 8 Degrees. Remember that show had like 8 degrees of connecting people? It's not anyone in my close circle, but just someone like out my circle, like 8 degrees away type of person. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was just reminding me of somebody that I know. I was like, wow. And I had to like receive my discernment on it. I was like, whoa, I think I know one. I definitely know one. So, All right. Well, it's good to see you guys connecting between each other down there. I see that. Survivors connecting. That's a good thing. All right, guys. So I'm going to end this live chat. You know, for anyone that hopped on at the end, is going to upload. So you can always rewatch this if you missed any parts of it. So you guys continue to do the work, of course. And I'll be around. Tomorrow, I do plan on doing a live chat tomorrow. Wearing some of the merchandise. Yay! I'm trying to decide if I want to wear the black one or the white one. I'm gonna wear one of them in the live chat tomorrow. The shirt with the cat, or the cat, and the mug. I love the mug. It's so cute. You guys have to check this stuff out. But until next time, guys, what do I always say? Take care, right? You guys have a good night.